It's Monday, September 26th, 2011. I'm Rim.
I'm Scott.
And this is Geeknights. Tonight, the problem of link rot.
Let's do this.
It's autumn.
Great.
Yeah, that means two very important things to me. One, I get my goddamn hour back. They took that hour from me at PAX.
Yeah, that was Pax's fault.
Yeah. Thing is, I would rather they take the hour away and never give it back. I would rather just stay in daylight savings time all the goddamn time.
Yeah, I mean, it's annoying to lose the hour, but it's no problem if we actually keep the fucking sun
Well, if you're
coming up
born
with
after you lost the hour, you don't lose the hour unless we continue to switch back and forth. Why don't we just move, let's spring back or move forward, I don't know, like 3 hours and just leave it.
That'd be cool.
Because I don't want it to be light out until I get home from work.
Here's another thing, right? It's like we have these time zones. So everyone can have local time. It's like you got to get used to the, so everyone can wake up around 6, 7 and go to bed, right? It's like, why don't we just everyone use UCT and you just get used to whatever the clock happens to be in your area? So in one time zone in the world, the times are going to be what people are used to. But in other time zones, it's like we'll just have to get used to the fact that what used to be 7 is now noon.
You know what? It'll never happen because people are dumb. But being in the financial sector, I think in GTC anyway.
Yeah, right?
I mean, universal time, and 24-hour clock too, not just none of this AM, PM BS.
Yeah, that's another thing is a lot of the rest of the world just uses 24-hour clocks for everything and doesn't use 24-hour.
What we could do,
12-hour
I mean,
clocks.
remember, we had the metric system, right? Well, Napoleon, they also had metric time. We could go to that.
No.
Why not?
Because metric time is stupid and
Why?
broken.
Why is it broken?
Because it's stupid and broken. Because 1 second
Is a
right?
second in any way fundamental?
Yes.
To what?
It is the amount of time it takes light to travel.
An arbitrary distance we decided to thereby define the terms.
Yes, exactly.
That's the opposite of the definition of intrinsic.
No, not at all.
Anyway,
It has to do,
the
with,
other
it has to
important
do with
thing-
the speed of light and not with.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
No.
Yes.
That's so wrong.
It's not wrong at all.
Yes, it is. Anyway, the other important thing, somehow, at least in America, pumpkin pie is only available through the autumn season and into winter a little bit.
Well, isn't that what you want, right? I mean,
No, fucking pumpkin pie, I want it every goddamn day.
Well,
I would
no,
eat
see,
it for breakfast
no.
without...
Here's the fucking problem, right? So have you read these articles about the tomatoes?
I don't think so.
Oh, you haven't? Okay, so apparently, right, you can go to the grocery store any time of the year
Mm-hmm.
and get tomatoes. But they always taste like shit. And tomatoes you grow in your own backyard taste awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, I found out that how do we fucking get tomatoes when they're out of season? How does that fucking work?
Depending on, not to talk about tomatoes specifically, but basically you get them from wherever you get them, and you either treat them so they don't ripen, or you do all sorts of different things to keep things fresh until you ship them to their destination.
Nope. Apparently, the reason we have tomatoes fresh, I mean, in the...
Well, tomatoes you can grow hydroponically, I'd imagine.
The way we get tomatoes in the winter is basically the slave labor in Florida that is making them, right? In basically sand, which they're not supposed to grow in, and they're using crazy whatever they can do to make them fucking grow.
All right.
Then they pick them before they're ripe. Then they spray them with chemicals to make them turn red, even though they're not ripe at all, which is why they taste like nothing, right? And they suck. And then they drive them up here, and they charge a ton of money for them, just so that tomatoes can be on the grocery store shelves in the winter when they're out of season.
Well, Scott, you realize this is a movement that's been going on for a long time to localize food, to where by and large, maybe people should eat the food that is common to their area.
But it's
in
not
their
just
season.
the localization. I mean, right? Like an orange. You can get an orange from Florida when it's in season, and it'll be just fucking fine. It's about getting the things when they're in season, right? As opposed to...
But actually, Scott, they do many of the same things to transport things that are in season in one area to a place where they're never in season.
It's true, but, I mean, if you go to Florida, everything tastes better, right? Or if you
Except the
you go to
water.
If you go to
Water does
I'm
not
talking
taste
about
better in
fruits and
Florida.
vegetables. If you go to California or if you go to the
Also, Scott, in
Mediterranean,
Florida, I argue the pizza is pretty shit.
talking about the fruits and vegetables, they all taste better if you go to the place where they grow them. But in New York, we grow some things. We grow corns and tomatoes and apples.
We got some potatoes.
And not Not really.
Yeah, we can grow them here.
Yeah, you can, but I mean, you'd rather go to Idaho. Anyway, the point is, you can transport many fruits and vegetables just fine when they're in fucking season. And now you're complaining, though, that you can't get the pumpkin out of season. Well, listen, if you got the
Scott,
pumpkin out of
One,
season, it would taste like shit.
No, it wouldn't, Scott, because pumpkin pie is made with pumpkin puree that's usually canned and processed anyway.
Then make your fucking own. Get a can of pumpkin puree from the grocery store.
Yeah, you know what we have in the fridge right now?
Pumpkin.
Like 4 cans of pumpkin puree.
Good job.
Make some pumpkin pie.
Okay, then stop complaining.
What annoys me, though, is that like everything else in the world, at least as far as Americans are concerned, we can get it all the time. We've got these huge systems in place, and pumpkin pie could be made at any time. The ingredients are always available. It's just restaurants and grocery stores and bakeries only make it October, November, December, January.
You know why?
Because they're dumbasses who don't realize that if we could eat pumpkin pie all the time, we would eat pumpkin pie all the time.
Nope. Because
I were
pumpkin
them,
pie is disgusting. Pumpkins are not for eating. They're only for carving and making decorations. And people only eat it when it's in season because of some traditional whatever, and not because it actually tastes good.
You're a horrible person.
So the
Pumpkin
bakeries
pie,
will only sell it when they can actually make money on
Scott,
it, which is when people feel obliged to buy it.
There are, in fact, I think
in
Dave
the
Riley.
autumn.
I'm going to call Dave Riley and ask him. I'm pretty sure he will agree with me that if pumpkin pie were available any goddamn day of the year, that it is possible.
Is Dave Riley some sort of food god where anything he says that is related to food is true?
I would trust Dave Riley's taste in eating things because I note that he eats many of the same things that I eat.
But he is a professional.
And I'm only a master.
He's a professional at eating.
Anyways, pumpkin pie
I'm a
fucking
master
season.
at
I'm going to get my
eating.
fucking pumpkin pie. It's going to be delicious.
I should take a pumpkin pie and pee on it just cause.
All right, you're going to go buy one and pee on it. It's the season. I can get like 100 pumpkin pies.
The thing is, that'd be a waste of food. I should just give one to a homeless person instead.
Sadly,
and if the homeless person pees on it, well, that's YouTube material.
All right, so nerds are raging as they rage about a thing that Linux nerds in particular will often rage about.
All right.
This time, a long time ago, Oracle, which, we talk about evil companies and good companies and all that sort of stuff. It's easy to forget that Oracle, with the sole exception being real networks, is probably the most consistently
Isn't Real Networks dead?
I think it's dead now.
There's more companies.
Didn't they get bought by Oracle? I mean,
Oracle's evil, but they're not the maximum evil.
They're not the maximum
I mean,
evil.
Sony's about equally evil.
I don't think Sony's equal because Sony is more often incompetent than evil.
You can't ever tell the difference. Maybe Oracle's also incompetent, right?
I don't think so because consistently Oracle has often gone in the direction of anti-competition and against various IP things. Oracle has often been the enemy to most open sourcey type people forever.
VirtualBox, they didn't ruin that yet.
No, not yet. It'll come. Give her time. But anyway, the current thing that the nerds are raging about is that MySQL, which they were not happy when Oracle acquired it, is now still open source, you see, but they're making extensions to it. And those are not open source. They're binary extensions.
Okay, but let me see. If you get the MySQL with no extensions,
it is a database.
Is that the same MySQL that I use every goddamn day, or is that or did they take stuff out of it?
So right now, yes, but they have these modules now. MySQL Enterprise Monitor.
Just don't fucking use that shit.
So for now, but here's the problem. If you want to back up to its root, one, as soon as this happens with any open source project, a lot of people on Slashdot were saying like, oh, don't worry, we'll just fork the open source code. No matter what happens, we can,
they're actually
we can engineer similar things in the community version. And to that I say, yeah, OpenOffice is a fantastic replacement for Word.
Yeah. Well, there are already a couple of MySQL things. There's a project called Drizzle.
Yep.
Which that's the MySQL team from before Oracle bought MySQL, and they're making Drizzle, which is a community-driven open source project that is forked from MySQL.
Is it called Drizzle? I was talking about this with coworkers this morning, and
so
I could not remember the name of the
guys who were
fork.
working on MySQL before Oracle bought it, they are making Drizzle, which is a C++ fork rewrite of MySQL. There's another one, I forget what it's called, that's written by the guy who originally wrote MySQL, and that's like a totally different thing. But there are plenty of databases out there that basically have this, even though they're not MySQL, they have the exact same front end. So you can use your MySQL client library to talk to it, and your application won't know the difference.
So like WordPress doesn't know. It just works.
Right, exactly. And
now here's the thing.
There's another thing out there called VoltDB, which has a lot of sort of hype around it from the company that makes it.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah, but it's that also is, it might have other issues. I wouldn't recommend it, but it also, I believe, has client library compatibility with MySQL.
So the thing that's going on here is that this is a common business model for a company that owns an open source thing.
Yep.
And they can't just close it. They'd love to just close it and be like, yeah, you got to pay for it now.
Well, they could just make a closed source the next version, and then...
They could, but some of the code they take out of it, depending on the license, not talking about this project, but in general... Some licenses are more viral than others, and some things can't be closed completely.
Well, I don't even know what the MySQL license is.
It makes for a complicated situation, and also it causes immediate anger and backlash among even the far close to center normal nerds on Linux. But this sort of thing is interesting because it's still open source, and you can the change does not affect you unless you want the fancy stuff. The problem is that typically what I think is going to happen is that eventually the fancy stuff is going to be the things that are necessary for the thing to continue to be usable.
Why? MySQL has been usable without any improvements whatsoever for a long time.
Yep.
Why? Why would you need any more? Well, you think that's a stupid thing. It's like you'll never need more than 16 megabytes, right? The old Bill Gates thing. What was it?
Yeah.
You'll never need more than X amount of RAM.
Which is not really an attributable quote to him, but I digress.
Right, but but the point is that same idea of you'll never need more than this, and I'm here saying you'll never need more than what MySQL already has.
Well, no, I think I know what you're saying. You're not saying you'll never need more than MySQL. You're saying if you need more than MySQL, you shouldn't be using fucking MySQL.
Exactly, right? I use MySQL, and I always tell people, look, I don't give a shit. Use my ISAM. Who gives a shit about data integrity, right?
I do, but I do different things from you.
Right, that's what I'm saying, is that 99%, I'm willing to go out on a limb. I'll even say almost everyone who uses MySQL is using it, right, for a non-critical application. They're using it for a blog. They're using it for a website with some sort of CMS. They're using it for something that is not a bank or a medical machine that is keeping someone alive, or a military device, or something along that, an airplane. No one's using MySQL for those serious things.
Now, some people
are
using it for high-performance applications, which, again, there are better solutions than MySQL.
Nobody's using MySQL for something that is so ridiculously important to where any of those extra features are going to be something that you need. If you actually need that extra database stuff, know you need it, and are smart enough to know how to use it and take advantage of it and all that, you're probably going to be using Postgres or Oracle.
Yep, so that's what I want to talk about. Here's what the extensions are.
Okay.
MySQL Enterprise Security, which allows drop-in external authentication for PAM and LDAP and all that stuff.
But MySQL authentication that's built in is just fine. Who actually needs that?
I would say that I do, even for simple MySQL stuff. I hate my entire life using embedded authentication in any database is a recipe for disaster. If you're a company.
But if that's a problem for you, which it isn't for most people, don't use MySQL. Don't use some stupid extension.
Oh yeah, but this extension just does that, which would be a great thing for MySQL. It'd be great if Oracle had just made that and put it in MySQL.
It would have been okay, but I probably wouldn't have used it. I'm actually using MySQL 5.1 in all my apps. I'm not using 5.5.
MySQL. Enterprise HA, high availability.
What does that do?
Clustering and basically, master. You've got a database cluster of MySQL that never goes down, even if you lose individual nodes. Fail over, fail back, all that stuff.
Yeah, anyone who's got a big enough thing to where that you need, the free MySQL can do that in a bunch of ghetto ways.
Well, yeah, I'll tell you guys right now, you want to do master on MySQL, it's trivial. Use the normal binary replication.
And then do the alternating
set it up
trick.
to where the sequence numbers, that you're going to use as your keys and such in your simple as database. Server number 1, the formula for a sequence number is n+1. And for the other one, it's just n.
Yeah,
so
and
as a result,
another
one server
secret
always inserts with evens, one always inserts with odds. As long as you don't want to sort based on sequence number, which, you're stupid if you do that. Sort based on a timestamp or something.
Yep, but also, if you want to make that work even better, make your application with the insert-only model to where you're only ever inserting and you never update any record ever. And you'll be a lot
Which
easier.
you may or may not be able to do. But then again, if you're using that model...
No, any application, I can design it to where you're doing insert-only. It's possible, mathematically.
But at the same time, you will have issues with large data sets. But here's the thing. The data sets that are large enough to where you really want to run into those problems, and I'm working on this stuff a lot right now, is where relational database as a paradigm is not what you need.
Maybe.
Depending on the data.
Sometimes.
But anyway, the third one is thread pool, which is a super scalability thing for entertaining large numbers of concurrent connections and things. So it's
if
a
you
super performance
actually
thing.
need any of those things, for real, you really need them, then you should probably pay for them or use Postgres.
Well, what's interesting is that Postgres it's weird. The people who complain about Postgres usually say that it's difficult to administer.
True.
No, it's not true. Fuck you.
True.
It's difficult to install.
True.
All these
well,
things.
not install, no.
So
install is apt. Yeah, it's the same install.
I believed that until I used Postgres extensively, and I realized something. Because one, I went to RIT. Kind of a classical IT education. I had to take this huge track on database design, database administration, all this stuff. If you think that Postgres is difficult to configure and you've read the
never used
documentation,
Oracle.
it means that you've never used databases, that your interaction with databases has been confined to MySQL and maybe SQLite.
Yep.
It means that you don't know how databases work.
But that's the thing, right?
But most people don't, and I don't expect you to. If you're making a WordPress, you don't care what the database is. You just want your WordPress to work, and MySQL is great for that.
But it's not just you don't know how the databases work, right? It's like I know how databases work, right? But the point is I actually don't need databases, the real real databases like Postgres and Oracle. I don't need them to work how they work, and I know I don't need them to work how they work. I want a database that works in a way that pisses off DBAs, because like every application I write, if I use InnoDB or Postgres, all I get all day, right, at least once a day, are like validation errors, foreign key mismatch, blah, 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 blah.
That means you didn't know your schema.
Right, but that's the thing, is that the applications that I am working on, right, are not so important to where any of that shit matters. That hindrance of me having to constantly fix those data errors all over the place is hindering me from doing real work. And the fact is, even though those data errors
exist, that's your kind of work, a very different model of, say you're writing, daemons that do kind of complex things with, integral data.
Then I'll suddenly care. But the point is, most people in the world are doing my kind of work. Most people with databases, period, are doing my kind of work. Only at big companies.
I would disagree with that. I would argue that most people using databases don't even care what a database is. They just want their application to work.
Though there are a lot of people like that.
There are developers who care about the underlying database structure. But the majority of people have an application they want to use, and most applications these days will, if you give it access to a database, will create the schema, and the only people who care about the schema are the people who wrote that application and the installer for it.
Yep.
And if they care about using Postgres or something, that's great. But anyway, there's an ancillary news to this. Apple removed MySQL from Lion Server.
Yeah.
I don't know who uses Lion Server.
You can just install it. It's not like...
Oh, yeah, but they replaced it by default with Postgres. And I've been saying this for years.
That was
this
an
is an
Oracle
opportunity
move.
to say it again. Use MySQL if you don't care. If you care at all, use Postgres, because of the open source databases, Postgres is the one that is the best to learn. It is the future of open databases, as in the long run, everything's going to support it.
But even if you do care, if you don't actually need it, it's only going to give you trouble. It'll just make more work for you. Even though you might be OCD and you really want to do all that extra work. Even if you care about databases, because I do care. It's just that I know I don't need it. So if I try to get it, all it does is create extra work that is no benefit for me in my particular use case. So only do that extra work on the Postgres if it's actually going to benefit you because your application needs it.
Well, it depends. Very few people are actually application developers like you who are using databases. Most people are probably installing a database to then have some other application someone else wrote built on top of it. And what I'm saying is that more and more of those applications are going to support Postgres and or MySQL.
I don't see that.
Postgres support is growing in a surprising number of things. And especially if you want a job out there, especially in like an IT.
Well, yeah, if you want a job working at a financial or something
not
serious.
financial. I'm saying in general. Forget developers. If you're like an IT guy, more and more people are going to be saying we need a Postgres database, and if you can do the stuff to administer a Postgres database.
Depending on the industry. If you go to, Silicon Valley where people are just making like social nonsense, right?
If you're going to be there, you've got to know NoSQL bullshit because they're all going to want that because that's the hot thing.
But that's what I'm saying is that if you are working on, it depends on the industry entirely. If you are working on an application, whether you're a developer or a database guy or an IT guy, that is serious, you're going to need to know Postgres, Oracle, something serious. If you're working on trivial stuff that no one cares about, like, lol, I got a site with
but
funny
Scott,
cat
simultaneously,
pictures.
if you're an IT guy, and when I say IT, I mean real IT that actually pays real money.
Yeah, companies that do have...
No one's ever going to ask you to use MySQL. If they do, you're probably on the wrong track
That's
of
true.
IT.
That is true because
MySQL is something that a developer can administer trivially.
if you are a funny cat picture website, you probably don't have IT people.
Yeah, so this is what I'm saying. If you are an IT person, it behooves you to learn Postgres because you will run afoul of it more and more and more, and it is not difficult. It is not hard to use. It's not hard to configure.
It is harder than MySQL.
Well, here's the difference. MySQL just kind of works magically. Postgres has real security.
No, MySQL doesn't work magically. It just says
You install it and it says, "What's the root password?"
Well, yeah. But it basically, the thing that makes MySQL easier is that it just doesn't care if your shit is fucked up. It'll still give you a result. It's
the other things, like what I use Postgres for,
will let you know you're doing something wrong, and when you do something wrong, it'll smack you, and it won't give you anything. So you have to.
It gives you a lot more than nothing.
It forces you to. It gives you an error message. It forces you to do things the right way.
No,
whereas MySQL lets
Scott,
you be
I
a
realize
bad boy.
we're having an argument that half these people don't even understand. So the deal is that by default, if you just use MySQL, you don't know what you're doing. It's not transactional in the way that like Oracle or Postgres is.
Nope.
So talking to MySQL, I say insert foo into bar table or something like that. And it just says okay, or maybe it crashes or something.
It doesn't
whatever.
crash.
It can crash.
I've never seen it crash.
I've seen it crash before.
In my entire life.
I've seen it crash when people inserted control characters into they did weird stuff with what was going into the database.
I've never seen that happen.
But Postgres, you'll say something like begin, meaning I'm beginning a transaction. And then one or more SQL statements, maybe 10,000 SQL statements. Though by default, if you don't know what you're doing, every individual statement will have its own begin commit block. So you begin a statement, so I say begin. Then I say insert foo into bar table, and then it'll succeed or fail. If it succeeds, it does the next command, and it keeps doing them until you've done all your commands. Then you can do selects and anything you want against the database as though all of your... So you basically got your own shard of the database that is the same as the original database plus all the changes you made to the database. But if you then back out without committing, all those changes disappear. Or you say commit and then all those changes are written.
Yep.
So if you care about data integrity, which, that sounds like something you should always care about, but as Scott has said, many times you actually don't care. So if you think you care, it might be worthwhile to try to figure out if you actually do care, because there's a good chance you don't.
Yeah, if you're a bank, you really care that you deposited the money
Well,
before
not just
the
a
other
bank.
guy would draw the money.
Here's an example. Let's say you want to add a column to a table.
Okay.
Let's say you want to insert a row into a database. Like you want to do something where you're doing something that is against the schema you already have in place. Like you have a foreign key relationship where this kind of record cannot be inserted without this foreign key to this other table.
Okay.
Postgres will not let you interact with that in any way unless you know exactly what the schema is and it works. If you do something like if you try to remove a database and there's a relationship with another table or anything weird, it'll fail, and then all your statements after that are fail, and you have to do things in the proper order. MySQL will be like, okay,
yep,
whatever, just do it, even though you might end up with, for example, a database record that's active that has an entry pointing to another table that entry doesn't exist anymore in that table.
Yep, because who cares?
Yep, you might not care, or you might care. There's a lot of easy ways to write an application where it'll crash if it can't find what it's looking for. You get a null pointer or something.
Yeah, personally, it's just a matter of, if you're big enough to have DBAs, right? Then suddenly there's a lot of people put all sorts of functionality in the database, right? Like stored procedures and all that kind of crazy nonsense. But most people are going to have 100% of their functionality and logic in their application.
Yep. So
and the database is just a dumb store of data and doesn't need any extra stuff except store my data. Give me my data, bitch.
Now, sometimes you want
need.
the database to be smart. Usually, for example, if you're dealing with archives, you're dealing with, say you want to keep a record of every order you've ever done in some, like, I don't know, e-commerce system for the previous 5 years, then you'll want a fairly reliable record of this. You'll want it to make sure that data doesn't get into the database that's fucked up.
That's true.
And so Postgres is good for all that sort of stuff.
Anyway.
But really, Postgres is going to be used more and more, and you should learn it.
It'll be used more by people who are abandoning Oracle and need something serious.
Or people who are abandoning MySQL because they're nerds.
Yeah. But I think those people might go to the Drizzles of the world anyway.
I don't know. I don't know if they will, because most of the IT people I run into actually don't know about any of those projects.
Those are IT people, I'm saying.
I know, I'm saying, but as a result, there's going to be a drive toward Postgres.
But nerds know about it, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Thing is, it surprises me how many nerds have a lot of trouble getting Postgres configured. It's way better documented.
Apt-get install. Then you change the PG HBA file.
.conf, yep.
And then that's it.
There's a little more to it.
What
but
else you gotta do?
depends on what you're doing.
Anyway, so in other news, that was incredibly long news. So did you know that about a month ago, or maybe a little over a month ago, kernel.org, where the Linux kernel was hosted, was hacked?
Oh shit, son.
Did you know that?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I read Slashdot like everybody.
So now here's something that is, what's incredibly dismaying is not the fact that it was hacks. You can read all about the hacks itself and what happened on the internet, so you don't need me to tell you, and I don't really care. That's not the interesting part. The part that I want to talk about is the fact that if you go to kernel.org today, over a month after this happened, what does it say? It says fucking maintenance down for maintenance. Are you shitting me? Right? You are taking care of the Linux kernel, right? You are Linus Torvalds and friends. You are making this piece of software that, the world depends on, right? It's open source. That's true. You're giving it out for free. It's true. But you're such experts that we're going to, you're doing most of the work, right? You and the Red Hat guys and the NVIDIA guys, right? And the IBM guys. And you can't bring a fucking website back up in like a month? Are you kidding me? Like, how dumb are these people? It's like they're experts at kernels and operating systems.
Why? I'm going to tell you why. Here's my guess.
Go to Linode, boom, buy a Linode.
Scott,
put Apache
here's
on
my
it.
guess.
Done.
Here is my guess. One, they're running Apache, and they have tweaked the ever-living shit out of it with the kinds of parameters that normal IT people don't even know about.
Don't bring back up the original site.
No, Scott.
Obviously it was broken as shit. Just bring up a brand new one that's nothing like the old one.
So they've got that and all this legacy stuff in there, and their mindset is, we've got to get everything back the way it was.
But meanwhile, they've been using GitHub for like over a month, and actually, from what they've said, they're actually not too unhappy with GitHub.
Yeah.
So, but it's like, this is causing me serious problems because, like, I'll try to look up the Git documentation, which was hosted on kernel.org, and now it's not there anymore. So it fell out of the Google results, and
Scott,
I have to go to the actual Git website.
Is that they probably didn't do their database backups the way they should have, because they're probably not actually IT people.
I don't think there is a database. It's mostly an FTP server and like a static HTML, isn't it? I don't think there's
I don't know.
much
Like, I don't know how
going
it's not a site I generally peruse.
But
that
like the way
often.
they had it set up before, apparently like all these people had tons of SSH keys to get into it, and it was like, what?
My guess is that there's so much legacy bullshit that they don't know. Like, they're probably just sorting through like this massive, horrible configuration.
Yeah, sure, you can do that. Keep that horrible thing off to the side, offline, where you can sort through it, and bring up a new server that has nothing to do with the old one.
Scott, this is
take 5 minutes.
It's because they're computer scientists. They're not IT people.
But it just, I just wanted to bring this up as a typical example of people who are extremely competent in one area being extremely uncompetent in another area, selves included, right? But often in the world, you will have like people who are experts at something who will then, say something about an area in which they are not an expert, but they will come with authority because they are an expert in a related or similar area, and many people will believe them or trust them.
But at least in this case, they have not said anything like, we're awesome system administrators.
No, but I just wanted to show you here's an example to prove that, for example, a doctor might not have the best, who is an expert at, say, hearts. Don't listen to him when it comes to, say, stomachs. You know, just because he's a doctor doesn't mean you know everything about doctoring. Just because these are computer people who are experts at kernel writing, right, and source code management.
Yep. For example,
they don't know shit about websites.
Don't listen to me if you're trying to figure out the inheritance structure for your complex application.
Or security, apparently, because they got hacked.
I mean, you've seen old documentation. Look at the NTP website.
Yeah.
So things of the day. I don't believe I've used this before, but there's a tiny chance I did, but I couldn't find it. But I'm doing this because it's stuck in my head, and I also want it to be stuck in your head. This is a pretty great video that showcases how bad He-Man was, and how funny He-Man is when you add homoerotic undertones and use the fact
You have to add them? Or are you saying add more homoerotic undertones?
Highlight them.
Okay.
Mostly it's that He-Man has a surprising number of kind of sad expressions that are really funny, and I don't know. You'll see. This will be stuck in your head. You're going to hate me for like a month. I have no regrets.
And so I wake in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and get real high and I sit to the top of my lungs. What's going
All right, so here's a video called Scale. And basically the deal in this video is he shows you what the sky would look like if various other celestial bodies were as close to the Earth as the moon is. So, for example, if Mars was at the same position near as the moon is, it would be X big in the sky, and he visualizes this. So it's like, oh, Mars would look like about 4 to 6 to maybe 8 moons most, right? Be pretty big out there. And then he shows you what the Earth would look like in the Earth sky, which is kind of funny. And then he goes to Jupiter. Now, the thing is he measuring from this, is he putting the center of Jupiter on the center of the moon and measuring it that way? Or is he putting a tangential line to the surface of the moon, of the face closest to Earth, and matching that up with a tangential line on the side of Jupiter, and putting it at that spot? Because I'm pretty sure that if you put the center of Jupiter at the center of the moon, the Earth would be in Jupiter, right? You wouldn't be able to see Jupiter. You would be in. You would be on the surface of. I guess you wouldn't be on the surface because it doesn't have.
Well, have you calculated all those distances?
I didn't actually go to Wikipedia to look it up, but I would be willing to bet $1 that if Jupiter, the center of Jupiter, was at. If you teleported Jupiter right now, so that the center of Jupiter was in the same spot as the center of the moon is at this second, the Earth would be inside of Jupiter. Definitely, it's that big. There's no question. Not to mention the fact that, gravity would pull Jupiter into the sun and there would be all kinds of crazy shit going on.
So very briefly, in the meta moment, the Geeknights Worst Webcomic Contest is closed to submissions.
No.
We're reading all that god-awful furry porn you've sent us.
And the episode will be in a couple days.
Yes, it'll be on Wednesday. There's some winners in there.
There's also some losers.
There's some good stuff in there.
Losers and winners in the worst contest you can.
Yep. If you're going to be at the New York Comic Con and you want to say hi, let us know, and we'll tell you when we're going to be there. We're going to be there as press and professionals.
I'm going to be there casually.
We're not doing any panels because the options for doing shows at the con. We'll talk about it when we review it. But basically, instead of a panel room for us doing panels, let's say, there's a stage, as in that same stage where stormtroopers fight with each other.
They're definitely leaning more towards, the
panels purchased by publishers who want to say that they had a press release.
But
here's
here's the thing that I don't understand. We'll talk about it more later. I just want to say this right now. Even San Diego Comic-Con has small rooms somewhere with fan panels because they know people who are on those fan panels. So New York Comic Con, what the fuck? Anyway.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll review the convention objectively. It just saddens me that
you know what the badge has on it? I got the badge. You
Oh.
know what it says? It has a Walking Dead TV ad. It takes up the majority of the badge.
They don't mail press badges. I have to go pick mine up at the con.
Awful.
But I get to go Thursday.
Great.
Emily's got a professional badge.
Ooh.
We remember how we used to always get the professional badge because they didn't know what badge to give us.
Whatever.
Yeah. So we'll see. It's sad as a meta thing how PAX seems to be the only con that can do it right. Though, of course, right under PAX is Kineticon and MagFest.
Yep.
But
Speaking of MagFest,
MagFest is coming.
January get your shit ready.
Yeah, guys, if you want to go to MagFest, get your hotel room now before it sells out.
Oh. All right.
I'm so excited about MagFest. And
Remember, MagFest is not a convention. It's a fest.
And we will be there doing at least one of our panels, in addition, well, lectures, I guess.
It's also 4 days.
And we're going to be on the Mag 9 again, the gaming intellectuals. We can't talk about it much yet, but much like last year.
It might be the Mag 10 because it's the 10th MagFest.
Yeah, where we've got, well, originally I think it was 9 gaming intellectuals, but I think we have like 14 intellectuals now, so I don't know.
See.
But bunch of smart people in the gaming industry, including the Right Honorable Dr. Hazard, who has the best name ever.
The 10th Annual Music and Gaming Festival, 4 days of nonstop games and concerts. That's right, 4 days, nonstop, hotel, all night, Thursday morning through Sunday night.
Many of you come to like the Penny Arcade Expo or Anime Boston, you want to hang out, and you might notice that we disappear from our panels and we're often busy. MagFest? We don't do shit. You want to just hang out and get drunk and play games for a whole weekend with us? That's where you want to do it.
Also, 11/11/11, the Burning Apocalypse Con. Registration is now open.
Now, I point out, this is one of those cons. Well, one of those cons. It's a special kind of con. You want to go, you have to play in games. You also run a game.
You must run one game to be at the convention.
I'm going to run an inspector's
It also
game because I think I'll be the only one.
I don't think they're going to let you. It has to be a loot
No, it said very specifically, you can also say other and say what the game is.
No, he said that he's going to email people who chose a game that was not a Luke Crane or Vince Baker game.
Oh, then I'll unregister because I don't feel like running Burning Wheel.
You're just not going to go?
I'll go to say hi and video stuff. I just won't play in any games.
Nah.
Because I don't want to run any Burning Wheel. I just don't feel it.
It's just 2 days of RPGing.
Constant RPGing.
That's it in New York. There you go.
Yep. Also, PAX is coming up in about 6 months. We'll be there.
Right, we're done.
Many of you might be too young to remember, but there was a time, kind of before Google really picked up steam, and when Alta Vista was kind of the best search engine.
Or web crawler.
Or Yahoo.
Or Lycos.
Lycos, oh shit. Or the people who go to Dogpile that searched all the other search
everything
engines.
at once.
And a problem you run into is that even on any search engine, you search for something, and a good 40% of the links on the front page would just be broken.
Yep.
Like you'd search for, imagine if today you went to Google and you searched for like Nyan Cat and the first 3 links were all just dead, like they were 404s.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you might, depending on what you're searching for, you might get these squatting sites. But Google's actually been pretty good about getting rid of those out of the top of the search results in most cases. But imagine if just almost all the links were dead. Like, and you search for something obvious. Like, you search, like, Mega Man 2, and you go and you just keep clicking links, and almost all the ones that look like they're good are 404s. You just keep going, and they're all 404.
You get to the point to, and worse, you'd go to a website, and people back then used to have on every website, they'd have, like, a links page that was just links to other shit. And the majority of those would be broken. Maybe you'd be following a web ring.
Web
around
ring,
the internet.
baby. Web ring.
But then you'd hit a piece of the web ring that's gone, and now what?
Now you have to go back to the previous page.
And then figure out
and
how
then
to
use
skip.
the random function on the web ring to get somewhere else and hope you can get to the other half of the ring.
Yep. Or if you were really lucky, maybe you could figure out from the URL like the number of the next link.
We should bring back web rings.
Maybe we should.
Would anyone use them?
Would anyone? I don't think anyone surfs the web anymore so much as Google's a word in YouTube and looks for videos of that thing.
Yeah, but like if you're just bored on the internet, right? You just
what do? You click on Wikipedia links.
Yeah, but
or
it's
TV
like,
tropes.
If you could get into like a pony web ring, you just keep clicking next.
You'd hit so much porn.
I'm just saying.
It'd be all porn.
Anyway.
Clop fiction, I guess is what they call it. Anyway, so this was a problem that was solved a long time ago in that we have codes for my shit isn't here anymore, and theoretically you could make stuff on the internet use that information to route around problems, but we never really did that.
Well, I just remembered stumble upon is what is web ring. Anyway, yeah, I mean, you know how you get the 404 not found, right? So there's all these different messages websites are supposed to send in the form of numbers, right? 200 means hello, I'm a web page. 404 means not found, as in you visited a URL that hit my web server, but I don't have anything at that URL on this web server, so that's not found. I don't know what the fuck that is. Then there's other ones, like I think it's 405, I'm guessing, is gone, meaning there used to be something here, is gone. And then there's 302, which is like redirect. Go here instead from now on.
Now, there's different kinds of redirects, temporary, all that stuff.
Yeah, there's
but
temporary
anyway.
redirect, permanent redirect. There's all these different instructions. It's so you can always, your computer can talk to the web server and figure out. I'm going to this URL. That's where I think there's some stuff I'm looking for. What happened to it if it's not there anymore?
So the trouble is that we kind of solved this problem for a long time, that link rot kind of reached this critical mass, and then it sort of went away for a while, and if you link to stuff, you could pretty much rely on that link being there.
Yeah.
But
Or you could at least go to the Google cache or something, or the Wayback Machine, or...
so as time has gone on, I've found that, people for a long time ago used to complain that, when I do the news links for Geeknights, I almost always link to things like Fark or Slashdot or, some sort of aggregator that itself links to the content. And I point out that those sites are by and large the only goddamn sites that still have any vestige of the original content I wanted to link to in the first place.
Yeah, I can go get a Slashdot story from fucking 99. It'll still be on that site
Now, all the
somewhere.
links from that are probably broken, but at least the
Probably.
summary's there. There's some sort of proof that, yes, there may have been an article at one point. Rim wasn't just making this up.
Yep. But if you had linked directly to that article, then...
It's probably gone.
Yeah, so good luck.
They go behind paywalls. People just change domains. They move stuff around.
People will change. Here's another thing. People will change the URLs on their site. And maybe sometimes they actually care about redirecting. So they'll put up redirects. But then later they take the redirects away. So I have a blog post. My blog post links to your news website, Rim, right? You change all your URLs when you relaunch your site. And you put up redirects like a good boy. But my site never actually goes out and checks like all these URLs to update them. So eventually, someday, you remove your redirects when you relaunch the second time, because hardly anyone, you get like two clicks on those old URLs. You're looking and making sure. So you get rid of them. But meanwhile, my blog post still links to that incredibly old URL pattern.
Or never mind, my website's fine, and then I die of old age. Now what? Domain expires. There's a squatting site there now.
Or you
content-
link to kernel.org,
Yep.
which went down, so it can't even
Someone
serve,
died.
and not even serving redirects or anything like that.
And it's a problem I'd ignored for a while because I kind of, the way I use the internet now is I'm never looking at old things ever. Like, not old links. Like if I look at a link, it's because someone sent it to me on Twitter like in the last hour.
Yep.
But we have a thing of the day feed. We tweet out every day like some random old thing of the day. I would say that a good 60% of the things of the day we have ever picked in the lifetime of Geeknights is fucking gone.
Now, here's the thing. You think, why don't you do something about that?
Well, we
I
did.
I have. I actually wrote a bunch of code that checks to see if various things of the day are 404 or timed out, meaning A, if the web server that it's pointing to no longer exists, or if it's a 404 or a 40 gone or whatever it is, right? Then fucking don't tweet that shit. Also, if there's a redirect, update that shit. So I'm actually checking for these things. But you know what? I've run into some worse problems. Number one, there's almost no things of the day left to tweet out. Two is that a lot of times you'll get a 200 response. It'll be like, yeah, I'm here. And I'll be like, oh, cool. That's a good thing of the day, Lee.
Yes, but all right, so we follow that link and a human looks at it. It's either a domain squatter because the domain's gone.
But the domain squatter isn't giving you a redirect or a 404. They're giving you their page. They're like, here's the page you want, my squatting page full of ads.
Fuck domain squatters, but I digress.
Even worse, you'll go to something like YouTube. And it's like, oh, cool, YouTube. That's a reliable link as all hell.
Nope, content removed by user.
Content removed by user. It used to be public, now it's private. Content removed because of copyright. Google, why aren't you returning a 404 for that shit? You're still returning a 200. Now I'm linking to something useless. Great, thanks.
Well, because think about this from a design perspective. If they ignore this problem, a 404 is scary to most people. They don't want to see that. They want to see the web page, so they see.
They can just make the 404 page display that, but still return the 404 status result. Why don't they do that?
Because only people like us care.
Only people like us care.
You, me, and Tim Berners-Lee.
This is what happens when you got podcasts that runs for like 5-6 years, is you build up all these links to newses and things of the day. Most of that shit doesn't work anymore. And really, the amount of work it would take to fix would be enormous, and the benefit would be none.
Now, we could, as a community, as a tech community, Tim Berners-Lee it and come up with a solution, like a way to fix
I
this
could link
generally.
to the Google cache or the Wayback Machine, which would take care of some
See,
of
now
it.
here's an interesting thing. We can't we don't have a technological global solution of, redirects and things that
Yeah, you
works
know how
effectively.
Google keeps the 404s out of its results? It just removes those from the results.
Yep.
Right? It's just like if I have a website, if I take frontrecruiter.com offline and you search for Geeknights tomorrow, it just won't show up at all. You won't get the 404. You just get nothing. You won't see us. You'll see other stuff that's not us. That's how Google makes it so there's no
But-
404s.
so there's no,
That
like-
doesn't solve the problem.
There's no universal solution, like a technological one, but we could easily get around it. Every person could make their own individual solution by caching stuff, but then we run afoul of our, multi-hundred-year legacy of bullshit copyright laws, where it is actually technically illegal for us to cache the things we have linked to.
Yeah, let's say I link to a news article and I keep that link to the news article, but then I also keep a screenshot of that news article or a copy of that web page on my server. And
Now
I
think about the interesting
and
use
I
of this
just
for
hold
news.
that copy.
Say I link
but
to
I
a
don't-
news. Say I link to a news article and then it changes. Well, I can have my cache say, "Hey, that changed. I'm linking to the original I saved because that person's covering something up or whatever."
Yep. But I could save the original, and then in case the link changes, goes away, 404s, whatever, serve it up from myself. The one that I saw on that day, which is sort of why I use Imgur whenever I link to an image instead of hot linking or hosting it myself. Right? It's like I take the image, I copy it to Imgur, then, or I guess it's technically pronounced Imager, but it's imgur.com, and then I link to that in my forum post or blog post. That way I know that A, I don't have to pay to host this fucking image, and 2, that link is going to work and no one's going to care about hot linking or anything like that. I don't even know how they afford to keep Imgur up.
I don't know what their business model is at all.
I don't know either, but thank you for them.
Yeah. Though, sadly, I looked at mine the other day because I was uploading a picture, and 75% of my pictures are My Little Pony related. And actually, 10% are some iteration of It's Goofy Time.
Yeah, okay, Imgur says, as long as images are getting at least one view every 6 months, they will stick around forever. After that, your image may be removed to create more space. So it's not infinity.
Uh-oh, link rot.
It is true.
That is also a very annoying thing because if we back up from, the reality of it, the original vision of the internet is that we're sharing information, that there's posts and gets. We're putting information and getting information. So the culture of our internet now is that when I'm posting and I see an image or something, I want to mash stuff up into my posts wherever I am. Like everyone who's using the internet is constantly creating content from everyone else's content. And we should all just be interlinking. But the nature of the way links work and the way copyright law works means that link rot happens, and that if you look at a forum thread in our forum, let's say, or NeoGAF or something awful or whatever, 10 years from now, it won't make any sense because half of the responses are probably images that are gone.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the, it's sort of like...
Look at Reddit culture. People have whole conversations that are nothing but pictures.
Well, it's 4chan, right? And speaking of 4chan, right? 4chan works in that it's designed around that idea that things are going to fall off, right? It's not like our forum where you can go and read the very first
but there's
post.
two things. There's also the 4chan archive where things that are going to fall off that are deemed important are archived for posterity.
That's true. But most things just fall off and they just delete things. And in that way, the internet is like a living organism, right? It splits off and grows new cells from the old, and it evolves. But likewise, many dead cells are just chafed off and thrown in the trash. Which, it's kind of cool. It's like, it's the internet is a living thing.
Yep,
It's,
I'm fine with that, but I think there should be laws such that there are great exemptions to copyright
Yeah.
law.
But on the other hand, that's like saying, the world's body of literature is a living thing, so we'll just throw these old books out because we got new books. It's like,
Yep.
oh, fuck no.
So I want there to be exemptions to the law where you can basically violate intellectual property for certain archival purposes.
Yeah, if you are archiving something in a certain way and you're not making money by like reselling an archive, you're just holding on to something in case it goes away, then
Well, I feel like
you should be able to do whatever you
maybe
want.
even something simple as, obviously there are exceptions to this, like if what was posted was itself illegal in some other intrinsic way.
Oh, obviously,
But
you're going to have all
a
these
general
loopholes.
rule that once you publish something, fuck you. If you take it down, someone else is allowed to republish it.
That's right.
But maybe no one else is allowed to republish it publicly so long as you are still providing it in the original form. But the moment you don't provide it anymore, fair game.
Exactly, right? So if I got original Star Wars and you're not selling that shit, I can put it out there.
But as soon as you're selling it, I can't put it up there anymore.
Yep.
That'd be really hard to litigate and manage, but
That's fine. Anything that it should always be, the onus should always be on the copyright holder, right? It's like, let them have, certain copyrights, but the onus should be on them. It shouldn't be guilty until proven innocent. It should be, no infringement until proven that there was, and such, right? It should be always really hard for them to win the case. That way, the society, we always lean towards more artistic expression getting out to more people for less money.
But I feel like in the end, right now, the laws aren't going to change. We can't rely on that.
No kidding.
The technology at its core is not going to change.
No
and
kidding.
in fact, there are forces working actively against such things.
Yep.
I mean, pretty much I'd say the majority of the content producing companies of the world are against the kind of, I don't want to say Web 3.0, but the idea of the completely two-way web, opera style, where everyone who's browsing the web is also serving content to the web. And everyone is serving and providing and receiving all at the same time. Because that basically gets rid of the whole idea of a distribution channel.
Yeah. The other problem we have, right, is, for example, it says YouTube video that's pretty popular, right? And then it gets taken down. And then it goes up in a bunch of other places. You got to, find the other places. It's not always easy to... It's not like they're going to put up a redirect, right?
Yep.
You got to actually go out and find this other stuff, and then you got to know that it was the same. So even if I have an archive and someone goes looking for the thing, how are they going to even find it if Google isn't, masterful?
So I guess the only thing we can do for now is people like us and people like you who make content, be good citizens and do your redirects and everything right, even though everyone else might not use your redirect information effectively until it's too late. Link as responsibly as you can. Don't complain when someone like us links to *, because *''s gonna outlive just about anything *.
Yeah, some
links
people
to.
are really hung up on I've seen people I saw Pony Reddit once. They were like, no, don't link to Imgur, link to the original artist. That way they get the visits on their DeviantArt. And I was like, dude, that shit might not be there tomorrow, but this Imgur sure as hell is gonna be. So their name is on the art. It's not like they're not getting credit or whatever. I just want this link to fucking work. So that's a lot more important than sending them to, whatever page,
And I guess we have to have the greater discussion of, the generations that are making surprising amounts of content on the internet. It won't be long until people in that generation start just dying of old age.
Yeah, it's like, you can still see, for example, All Your Base because it was big and people are trying to keep it around.
And I intend
but
for
do you see
the
how hard
entire, 70-year span of Geeknights to be online effectively forever, long after
But do you see
I am
how
dead.
hard it was for us to find that Teenage Ninja Turtles?
I know.
But
I kind of wish we hadn't found it.
Right, but the point is, imagine, if we hadn't found it, that's like something horrible that was lost, but it was still a piece of art that was lost, no matter how bad it was.
Yes, it was art. It was art in the ACLU definition of art.
So it deserves
It elicited a response.
It deserves to exist, I guess. It doesn't deserve much else, but to exist.
What
amazed me I wouldn't say deserves to exist, but it has a right to exist.
What
if it
amazed
wants
me,
to.
though, was that not only did we find it, but there were a surprising number of very similar works that were not it.
That's true.
That we found.
Right, but it's like, how could you even, it was like basically a miracle that we found out about it. How many things were there that we never saw back in the day? There was probably a funny video back in the year 2000 that we didn't see, and now we never will see.
Does anyone remember Hat Baby?
I think, yeah.
I hope they do, because a lot of people don't know what Hat Baby actually was.
What?
We talked about it on Geeknights
Hot
years
baby.
ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway. Are we done?
Yeah, we're done. This has been Geeknights with Rim and Scott. Special thanks to DJ Pretzel for the opening music, Kat Lee for web design, and Brando K for the logos.
Be sure to visit our website at frontrowcrew.com for show notes, discussion, news, and more.
Remember, Geeknights is not one, but 4 different shows. Sci-Tech Mondays, Gaming Tuesdays, Anime Comic Wednesdays, and Indiscriminate Thursdays.
Geeknights is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license. Geeknights is recorded live with no studio and no audience. But unlike those other late shows, it's actually recorded at night.